Well, it's Tuesday afternoon, and this is honestly pretty late for me to be doing any sort of YouTube stuff, but that's because all morning I've been at the Madison Bouckville Antique Show, walking miles and miles. About 6 miles today, and 6 miles yesterday, and then 6 miles the day before, and the day before that. So 4 days in a row, about 24 miles of walking. And the first day I did it in boat shoes, and that was a terrible idea. But I did find some cool things that we'll take a look at. And it is tough to source at these big antique shows. You've really got to do a lot of digging. The treasures are there, but a lot of these people, most of them are dealers. Lots of them already came from Brimfield, may have sold a lot of their good stuff. But I love walking around the show field, looking at what other people have for sale and what they're selling it for. But before we take a look at a few things that I found over the past few days, let's jump over to eBay and see what's sold over there. This Sony camera here came from the 50-mile garage sale on Route 90. It was one of my first, actually it was the first buy of the day at a church sale for only $5, and it just sold for $129.98 plus shipping. This one sat in the shop a little longer than expected. This is a Ken Onion edition work sharp knife and tool sharpener. It's missing the belt, but it does work. It came with a belt originally, but the belt was really worn out, so I didn't want to include it with this knife sharpener here. But this one, after dropping the price a few times, just sold for $50 plus shipping. This lot of 15 different adult cartoon comic books just sold. This isn't something that I normally get into, but I found this stack at a garage sale for only $10, and I decided to toss it up on eBay for a high price and see what would happen. Now, I can't even show you guys what the rest of these look like, but this lot of 15 ended up selling really quick for $130 plus shipping. Some not so naughty catalogs heading out the door. This is a master parts catalog for 1929 to 1950 Chevrolet 6-cylinder models. It's got all sorts of good stuff in here, and this sold for $24.98 plus shipping. And directly underneath that is an international order for International Motor Trucks, the owner's and driver's manual for International KB5 and KBS5. These things are filthy. They came out of a really old, dirty garage. This one only sold for $10 plus shipping. But the one underneath it here is the real winner. This is a Willys maintenance manual, Universal Jeep model CJ2A. It's got some really great pictures in here, and this one did not last very long. I got a few low offers, and I finally settled on one for $65 plus shipping. Another 1986 Topps wax case, wax box, whatever you want to call it, just sold. I'm down to only 3 of these left, so I might start pricing them a little higher here. This one complete just like all of the others, and it sold for $160 plus shipping. Only one item going out in the Ephemera store, and that seems to be the trend lately ever since I switched to calculated shipping. So we're going to have to reevaluate the shipping policies in that store and see if we can bring it back to life, because it's been pretty sad lately. But this card right here, it's a 1907 very early Christmas card, and it's sold for $29.95 plus shipping. Taking a look at some of the things I picked up at Madison Bouckville, they don't really fall into the antique category except for the ephemera here, the postcards and photos. And we'll sit down and maybe take a look at those in a little bit. But some of these other items here, these are all like the smaller things that I picked up. These 3 in the back, I mean, this looks like a garage sale item, and it was only $1. There was one guy who had a booth, and everything was $1. And then these pieces were there as well. This is a Vigor inside ring engraving machine. It's crusty. It doesn't look like it's gonna work, but for $1, honestly, I don't care. It looked like it's worth at least that. And I'll put a comp up on the screen if I could find it for this piece right here. And then next to it is a Schuron 54. Looks like something Chuck drill. I have no idea what this thing is, but this was also only $1. If I could even find something like this, I'll put a comp up on the screen. I honestly have no idea what this thing is worth, but this was actually the 3rd day that I was there. So this sat there for a little while, and no one else picked it up. And I'm glad they didn't, because for $1, I thought it was pretty cool. Now, some electronics over here. These I like to buy because at an antique show, you do get some of the flea market people, but there's a lot of just estate cleanouts, storage unit people, and they just want to unload stuff. And this is the case here. This Sony Handycam, really similar to the one that I just sold. I do have the box and all the cables off camera here, but this was only $3, and I'll put a comp up on the screen for this one. So well worth the $3. Then for $2, I picked up this Olympus VN7200 voice recorder. The battery compartment was clean. This only goes for, I don't know, 10 to 20 bucks, but it was cheap enough and clean enough that I picked it up. I love old Bugattis, and when I spotted all of these in one guy's booth, I had to buy them all, along with a couple Morgan three-wheelers here. But these older Type 35 Bugattis are absolutely incredible. I can't think of who makes this. I honestly don't know what that says, but these were $5 a piece. A lot of these, I believe, are Italian. Oh, look at this one. This one's the same exact one, just a different number and a different wheel. Then another, what looks like a Type 35 over here. This one is made by Rami, R-A-M-I, Type 35C. That one, did it say made in France? It did, made in France. So that one, I'll put a comp up on the screen, because that one looks pretty cool. And then over here, the Type 57. This is the Adelante. And I want to say 57S, 1939 Solido. I've never heard of these diecast companies. I've got quite a bit of diecast stuff down here, but these aren't brands that I'm really familiar with. This one says Broom. Oh, I think that's what these two were over here. But this is the Type 57. I think this is the SC in the box. So all of these are going to stay with me because I love these old Bugattis, and for $5 a piece, I thought they were totally worth picking up. For a couple bucks, I picked up these vintage sports car magazines. This one here, 1959. I love going through these books. I don't think they're worth a whole lot of money, but when I can get them cheap, I usually pick them up. 1965, only 50 cents back then. Here's a Rod and Custom from 1961. Another Rod and Custom magazine, special model builder issue. That's pretty cool. Over here in the back, this IBM Professional Editor. I love old computer stuff, and this has both discs. I don't know what this is worth. I've never spotted this thing before here. It doesn't want to cooperate right now. One disc, it is missing the sticker on it. This one, the sticker is intact. It smells, I can smell it from over here. It smells like a dirty basement, which is unfortunate. One of the pickups today was this Texas Instruments Compact Computer 40. I asked the guy what he wanted for this thing, and he said $70. I'm like, well, I'm not paying $70. And I said, what, can you do any better? And he said, you got to talk to the guy who's selling it. I'm like, okay, well, who are you? Where's the guy selling it? So I found the guy that was selling it, and I said, hey, you've got this Texas Instruments computer. What do you want for it? He goes, what do you want to give me? And I said, $40. He goes, that's what I was going to say. And I was going to, didn't say like, well, hey, your guy back there wanted 70, which is insane. But it looks like it's in good shape. And I don't know, you know what? Let's throw some batteries in this thing and see if it works. All right, so I don't know. Do you think I overpaid for this thing here? It looks really cool. I haven't looked it up yet. I honestly don't know how to open it. It takes 4 AA's, but it's got this thing right here that doesn't. It moves. Oh, there we go. Oh, the inside's clean. If you can see right up there. Looks clean. Let's pop the batteries in, see what this thing can do. All right, moment of truth. What do you think it's going to do? Oh, we got a screen. And that's it. Nothing. Nothing else happens. Am I missing something? You hit off and on, and it's doing nothing. So that came out. Whatever this says? It says, prior to handling any cartridge or peripheral, touch some metal object to discharge any static. I don't know. I don't have any cartridges for it. I have no idea what it even would take. But as of now, it's doing nothing. That's cool. Does this thing open up in the back? What is this? Oh, this is like a little stand. Okay. So it's got like a stand so you can rest it and type away on it. I mean, it's honestly pretty cool. I just don't know what it's supposed to do. or how you're supposed to do anything on it. So let me look it up quick. We'll see what it's worth for parts or not working. It looks like there are none. Yeah, there's none available right now. And someone's selling a 3D printed battery cover, so that must be something that people want. And someone's got the different 3 cartridges. They're asking $135. There's a finance module cartridge. They're asking $60 for that. And another one, they're asking $45. That one's got 7 watchers. So let's take a look at the 3-year look back here. And we'll see if we can find any more that have sold. Okay, on the 3-year look back, someone sold one July 9th, 2024 for $750. And then the same photo, the same title and everything went for $820 in March of 2025. And it looks like working $170, $120. Untested went for $100. I don't know. It looks like everything below that, people either priced it too low or it's the cartridges. So I don't know. I'm going to do some more research and see why it's doing that. Maybe it needs a cartridge, and that's all it's going to give you until you put a cartridge in it. And if that's the case, maybe I will grab a cartridge for it. But it's heavy. It's got some heft to this for being so small. But I thought it was really cool. And I don't know, for $40, would you have picked this thing up? All right, for you ephemera lovers here, let's take a look at some of these postcards that I have no idea as to their value. This one looks really cool. U.S. Navy patrol bomber. Lots of I think generic postcards here that I don't know if they're gonna bring a whole bunch of money. Eagle Island, looking towards something I can't pronounce. 1905. And then we've got some cool airplane stuff also here that we'll get to. Oh, this one looks neat. What's this one here? 1910. It's embossed. It's got no text on it, but it's got this sailboat. Postmarked out of Rochester, New York. This one's pretty cool. I wonder what year. This one's got a year on it. It does not. A souvenir from Oneonta, New York. It looks like this, you can see in the corner, it looks like someone was trying to get 25 for it at some point. That's the front of it. Good looking postcard. Another, this is Pennsylvania's Grand Canyon. So it says Harrison Park on it, but not postmarked with a date. Some cool old airplane photos. I don't know who these people are. If anyone knows who this is, leave me a comment. And it looks like that same person with some friends or family. Another picture of her. It looks like there's a dog on the wing of this plane. Pretty cool. It says Ed and Dolly. So I don't know who Dolly is. Well, that's Dolly in the photo. I just don't know who she is. If she's of any significance. Historical significance. Lots of real photo postcards, but I don't know where they are from. It looks like just someone's house somewhere. There's actually several of this one house, but none of them have, there's no information anywhere as to where this house is. I've got a lot of old photos that came in one of the piles. None of them, a lot of them are just people, so there's not really a whole bunch of value in them. See, a lot of them are just like that. Just random people. And if they were in front of like buildings or stores, or if they had different types of vehicles behind them. Oh, this one's pretty interesting. I don't know where this is located. But there's a few of these photos. I don't know, but where is this bridge? So something like this might be worth something to somebody if they collect, maybe the stuff from that area. It looks like this could be a flood. And I'll have to look up this building here. This one's actually really cool. I don't know how good this is going to show up on the camera, but it looks like the car is like driving through a flood. It's also right next to a gas station, or it's in the gas station. And there are some signs on this building, which I'm going to have to do a little more research on. We'll see if we can figure out where that's from. Yeah, these all look like flooded photos, and there's nothing on them. There's no dates on them. There's no writing on them. So if I can figure out where that gas station is, then maybe I can, get an idea as to where the rest of them were taken, because I mean, there's probably not just a bunch of random flood photos in this one pile from different locations. This looks like a river or something almost in the wintertime that got all jammed up with ice. So lots of photos, mostly people. Actually, this is another one. This is another flood, it looks like. This looks like a basement of some sort of building, and those could be the boilers. So I don't know. Definitely have to do some more research on the flood photos. See if there's any more in here quick before we look at the last couple pieces. Oh, these are cool. These got to be 60s or 70s. This is a parade in front of the Boston store. That's in Utica, New York on Genesee Street. My grandfather had a store in there for a short time when they reopened it back in it was either the late 80s. I think it could have been the late 80s. So pretty cool to see that. Last two cool ones here. This one is from, looks like 1891. Board of Supervisors. I can't make out what it says here. But boy, look at the mustaches on these guys, and look how they were dressed. That one's really cool. And then last, I've got this one that's on like cardboard. It says the Oneonta Dairy Company, but there's no date on it, so I'm not entirely sure when this one's from. But this one I thought was pretty cool. So lots of photos to go through, lots of postcards to go through, and I honestly don't know when I'm going to get to them. I might just save them, get them stored up and ready for fourth quarter once picking season slows down, because I've got a lot of antique shows coming up. Townwide sales are still happening, believe it or not. I've got another one coming up Friday. Still lots of estate sales, so there's plenty to do, and I like to get all this stuff. I like to load the boat before wintertime comes, because before you know it, these sales dry up around here and you're stuck with nothing. And if you're not prepared with inventory, it's going to be a tough winter. So that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.